for the minority of people who are listening right now who have never heard of Scott Oldford, they never heard of the SSF method, they never heard of Infinitus, give us a quick 30 to 60-second introduction about who you are, what your company does, and what are you best known for.
Cool. Well, for the most part, I'm best known for kind of being behind a computer and just kind of figuring out how to break things. You know what I mean? That's definitely what I'm known for. I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 7 years old. Selling eggs on my family's acreage. Hit very successful in my teenage years. Went into $726,000 of debt by the time I was 21. And last year we built it started over again in 2015. Did $500,000 in my first year, $3 million last year. Who knows what I'll do in 2017? We'll see what happens. But in saying that, I help entrepreneurs grow from typically at the six-figure, just maybe a little tiny below the six-figure, to seven figures quickly. Because I've built 5 multi-million-dollar businesses of my own. And I always say I'm great at building multi-million-dollar businesses. I'm not the guy to come to scale seven-figure businesses. I don't know how to do that yet. Still trying to figure that shit out. But when it comes to six-figure to seven-figure, that stuff's easy because of the fact it comes back to lead generation. So long story short, and if you want the long story, you can go to ssfmethod.com, little plug there. But essentially what I see is that no leads are created equal, and a lot of online lead generation and marketing forgets about the human experience of awareness. And so there's sidewalkers, there's slow laners, and there's fast laners. And kind of adopt it from, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of MJ DeMarco with The Millionaire Fast Lane, amazing book, changed my life. And so I adopted that kind of mindset for lead generation. And essentially it's based on the awareness level, and we meet people based on where they're to instead of trying to push people. So we're pulling people in a relevant way. And so that's what I do. We don't do this for people. We teach you how to do it because I believe the majority of entrepreneurs that are under seven figures, if you don't know how to, if you don't have an intimate understanding of your sales, your marketing, your customer service, your delivery, your operations, and your finance, you're screwed. So that's a yes. It sucks to have to do your own Facebook ads. It sucks to have to look at your own finances, but our blind spots are our biggest opportunity for growth, and that's what we do. All with one of my team members to be able to do the same. So I always put in like a slightly like a new twist.
Yeah.
But everything else is the same.
So it's interesting that you talk about that because, so just to recap for everybody, if you're listening right now, what Scott's talking about is inside of his main lead generation funnel, he's getting people to opt into a guide and go to a challenge. And at the end, he puts them into an evergreen webinar, which is extremely smart because it maximizes his time. And we all know that webinars are the best, in my opinion, I don't know if Scott, you agree with this, but webinars are the best conversion mechanism to get people to make that commitment to a purchase. So in that first iteration for the sale, the conversion mechanism is an evergreen webinar. You may have other conversion mechanisms as well, but that's where he puts the evergreen webinar. So then they're on his list for at least 10 days at that point. And they get into his group, they get into his email list. He does 4 live webinars a month, 2 are live streams, 2 are webinar style. But essentially it's 4 more opportunities.
And basically what I would say on that, just to add on to that, the live streams, I don't really promote that much.
Yeah.
So like live streams, I basically just in our Facebook group got like 8,000 people in it. I'll just add an event and post about it. No email, no Facebook ads. But then the webinars, we do the whole kind of spiel.
Yep. So it's very similar to what I'm doing right now. It's an automated webinar when people first jump onto my list, because for anyone, like as we all know, cold traffic is the most difficult, the most frustrating to sell to. So give them the webinar first, automated, then get them on your group and focus your live efforts with your group and your warm list. That's I love it. And that's exactly what I'm doing with Webinar Wednesdays. I do Webinar Wednesdays in my group, and it's same idea, same concept. So very cool. So I want to pivot now and talk about what you're really, really excited about coming up in the future. And this is going to be the future of lead generation. It's not even the future. It's here right now. You're doing it. You're crushing it right now. I want to talk about artificial intelligence, and I want to talk about bots for lead gen. I'm going to leave it open like that, and I'm I'm going to let you run with it because I don't know anything about it. So let's brand.
So, I won't go into AI too much because I'll first say that the future is here. It's just not widely distributed. That's the first thing. Like the shit that they have in laboratories right now is scary. Okay. Like the shit that they have that just, we haven't figured out how to make it distributed easily, is amazing. In all the scary and exciting ways that you can imagine. So that's the first thing. Artificial intelligence. Here's my prediction. By 2021, you won't need to make a marketing funnel anymore. Okay, which is scary for someone like me because it's like, what the hell am I going to do? Right. So here's really what it is. We got artificial intelligence that using machine learning can replicate and write better copy than copywriters can, which is like, what the hell? And we're going to have a point where you're going to have a ClickFunnels type of dealio, and you're going to go, here's my goal, here's my business, here's everything else, and it'll just create the damn thing for you. Okay. So if you're in the business of marketing, look at what happened to websites. 1998, right up until about 2010, 2011, 2012. You can be selling websites for ridiculous amounts of money. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty dumb business to be in now because you can just go to Wix or Squarespace and design something that's just as good. Yes, there's content strategy and blah, 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 blah. And, some marketer will try to, sell it to you. But let's call a spade a spade. So that's artificial intelligence. It's here. It's here to stay. What we must remember, though, is that we've realized that artificial intelligence doesn't need to be that artificial. What we really need is just branched logic and logic boards that are based upon decisions, because majority of decisions are yes and no's. Mm-hmm. We don't need robots going around figuring out shit themselves, because number one, that's fucking scary. And so from that realm, we must realize that it's about branched logic versus AI. And AI won't be like, we won't have robots that can actually think for themselves for another 15 years. That, like, in full capacity. Mm-hmm. All right. So from a business perspective, you're still good. Now, when it comes to bots, all right, everyone thinks about messenger bots. So we got Facebook bots, and we got, website bots, and we got all these different types of things. And it's going to be big. It's going to be big, and it's going to be big this year. If you look at the adoption of technology, the radio was like 34 years, 35 years. The TV was like 12 or 15. Facebook was like 4 or 5 or something like that. Messenger bots is going to be less than a year. You know what I mean? Or I should say less than a year. It's 2 years in total because they launched it in mid-2016 in a big way. But by the middle of 2018, if you don't have a bot as a business, you're like, it's the same as not having a website.
For somebody who doesn't know what we mean by a bot or a messenger bot, can you give them a quick definition?
So that's where I'm heading. And so, what you have to realize is that, I just said AI doesn't need to doesn't need to actually have intelligence. It just needs to have branched logic. Mm-hmm. So there's different types of bots. So essentially, a Facebook Messenger bot, is you reply to something and it's having an intimate conversation or an intimate experience without you actually being there, or without somebody on your team actually being there. So, the best way I can say it is it allows you to scale intimacy. Now, there's 2 different types of bots. There's smart bots that actually respond to your language, and there's dumb bots, which are really honestly just kind of like yes no's. It's qualification. I don't think majority of businesses need a smart bot. Okay, I think it's kind of dumb to put your time and money into that unless you have a really good use case for it. Okay, and the reason I say that is because the way that I see bots is that it's an overlaying technique and technology onto your existing marketing funnel to increase intimacy, relevancy, qualification, and engagement, so that we have the ability to, of course, be further relevant and to mediate attention towards the pain that you can solve. That is the purpose of the bot. The purpose of the bot is not to replace webinars, not to replace the ability to sell, not to replace your landing pages or your lead magnets or your emails or any of this type of stuff. It is a new way to gather and direct attention. And I think anybody that's trying to use it for any other reason is overcomplicating a process that doesn't need to be complicated.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking out this video. Few things before we wrap up. If you like this, go ahead and blast that like button, and it would mean the world to me so everyone else can see how awesome this video is. Only if you liked it though, okay? If you never want to miss out on any future videos, make sure that you subscribe down below. And also, I love to interact with you guys, so go ahead and comment down below and let's start up a conversation. If you've got any questions with the comments, if you've got any questions with the content in the video, start up a conversation, and I would love to answer them in the comments below. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.